Hi, I'm Peter Rose, founder of Longwood Currency Trading. I wanted to take a few minutes to give you some thoughts that I have on a FOREX training discussion that I had with a 55-year-old. It's interesting because the last two videos that I've done, what are you going to do when you lose your job, and the other one was there's a problem in the FOREX education space. And those two videos have had more interest recently after those two videos posted from older traders, 45, 55 age group, and one in particular that I thought I would share. Not that it's directed specifically to the 55-year-old trying to convince you that, you probably ought to take a look at currency trading, but more to my general audience who has a proclivity to be in the 21 to 34-year-old age group. It's a look ahead to the problems that 50 and 55-year-olds are facing in their lives. And you'll be 50 or 55 years old soon, and so you probably should pay attention. And if you are already 50 or over, you're already having those problems. You're already experiencing some of the things that I've talked about in some of my videos that chat about age discrimination in the job and your body's wearing out, and if you're not financially prepared for retirement, you're going to have to work until you're in your 70s or until you drop. As we see so many of our older population, 60 and above, working in fast food or large building supply companies like Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that. Those aren't crummy positions, and it's certainly interesting and exciting work, but unless your Social Security is pretty high, those jobs really aren't designed to provide job replacement income. In other words, if you're used to making $60,000 a year doing whatever it is that you do, and you lose your job or you go into retirement, those jobs are $15, $20 an hour jobs. So a third less maybe than what you're currently making. And certainly Social Security isn't going to help you out. And those are the concerns that I discussed with this one particular person that I chatted with who happens to be 55. It wasn't a training discussion per se, but it was about the FOREX market and what sort of training would be needed in order to learn how to do it. That's not the point of the video. Oh, look, I got this training that's great for a 55-year-old. The problem that I found in our discussion and the other discussions that I've had through emails more than anything with that age group is I'm not ready financially. I'm tense about what the future will hold for me. I'm 55 years old and I'm not going to last much longer as a roofer or as being out on the highways working the road crew, building a bridge, or a lot of those other jobs. Those are, what happens if I crash my knee? How am I going to do that? What does my future look like? And so the discussion was, well, this is how some folks approach the currency market. If you're younger, you're looking to make $1 million. I get that. I made $1 million in real estate and retired, and that's a pretty neat thing to have happen. If you're younger, you've got the time to do that, to invest in real estate. I don't know why you'd do that, though, but in this particular age, this is April of 2024, I'm producing this video, But looking at your alternatives for making money, such as trading currencies, you've got the time to make your mistakes and do all the stuff that all these other guys are teaching you what to do, and you finally come out of that all bloodied up and you've lost all your money, and if you're still hanging around, you figure it out, and you go on and you trade successfully. A lot of the people that are teaching this stuff out there, if you go back in their earlier videos, they talk about blowing through 6 or 8 accounts, losing 6 or 8 accounts before they finally figured out what not to do. So if you've got $40 or $50 or $60,000 that you want to go through, and look, if you're trading a $500 account or a $1,000 account, I'm not the guy you should be listening to anyway, because that's just fucking around. That's not really trading. You want to get up into the point where you're trading 5 full lots at $50 a pip. You make 10 pips for the day. You're $500 for the day. You do that. If you could do that every day, that's over $100,000 a year income. So let's be realistic about what kind of goals it is that we're looking for from the younger folks that are out there trading. You've got the time to stumble around and make mistakes and lose money because you've got a job to replace that money to figure it out. Now, most of you doing that sort of thing will lose $10,000 or $20,000, and you'll give it up. You'll quit because you'll think it's an unbeatable game and everybody was lying to you. Well, everybody is lying to you, or they don't know how to teach, and so you're not going to gain anything from that. But you'll end up losing that money. So the folks that are in this 50-year and up age bracket, number one, they can't afford to lose any money because they realize they're not going to have a job income to replace them. And they've run out of time, the 30 years that some 25-year-old may have, in order to learn currency trading. They don't have that 25 years. They don't have 10 years. And so they're interested in hearing me talk about the currency market, but they are fearful to do it themselves because they can't afford to lose any money, and they realize they're out of time, and what are they going to be able to do in the next 5 years or 10 years to do currency trading? Well, let me tell you, there's nothing to be afraid of, and you've got plenty of time. When we're looking at teaching currency trading in the big scope of things, the way that most educators are doing this are to, what's a pip, and oh man, it just goes on and on and on with crazy stuff. It's talking about stochastics and London Open and engulfing candle patterns and all this stuff and fundamental analysis, and let's see what's going to happen at the NFP, and it's just too much. If somebody was going to try to teach a 50-year-old or a 20-year-old how to drive a car, you'd start with the same way. This is where you put the key, and this is the brake, and that's the accelerator, so go. And then when you get to the point where you can put the car forward and put it backward, what else do you need to know? Well, you should know that this is a stop sign and that's where you're supposed to stop. And that this is a green light and that means that you can go. I teach currency trading that same way. I assume that anybody who's going to come to me has experience in currency trading because I don't teach beginners. The amount of money that I have to charge for my courses, because I'm personally involved with you, isn't appropriate for somebody who spends that kind of money to learn what a moving average is, or how to size your bank, or what the interbank market is all about. You can learn that stuff for baby pips. And then you got to get in a demo account, and you got to slosh around in that for a while, figure out what you're doing. And then you got to get into a real account, lose some money, and do some actual trading. and then come to the conclusion that you don't know what you're doing, and that's where I can help you. But I can't help you as a beginner. I might be able to get you started or whatever, but I can't do any consulting with you. I'm not going to teach you from a beginner standpoint because I don't have time to do that. And quite frankly, my skills are far better oriented towards somebody who wants to get in there, learn the skills very quickly, and start making some money. Now, whether making some money is going to be on a $20,000 or $30,000 account to get started and get moving toward enhancing their job replacement income. In other words, you're making $30,000 or $40,000 a year or $60,000 a year. If you can get in there with 3 or 4 lots and make an extra, just starting out $4,000, $6,000 a year, and you're making $60,000 a year, that's 8 or 10% increase in your job income. That's a pretty big deal. Your boss isn't going to give you that money. Well, how hard is it to get that kind of percentage return on your bank? Well, it's not really hard at all, as long as you don't try to make that on a $30,000 bank to start with, and working on dollars and trying to make dollars. So when I work with somebody, they already have some experience, you've already been beaten up before, and so I can take you and show you very quickly through teaching principles instead of stuff, how you can change your current process into one that works. The advantage in the 55-year-old, even though they haven't done currency trading before, their age is their experience. And so if you're 50 or over and you want to learn currency trading, I will work with you because you're going to be serious about it. I take a beginner, and believe me, I've helped enough beginners, and they complain about everything, and they argue with me about stuff, and they say, well, I did stock market, and I did this, and I don't have time for that shit. But a 50-year-old understands the importance of the information that I'm trying to provide for them. They're going to pay attention, and they're going to do the work. And so I will work with an older student as a beginner because I'm not going to be teaching them directly in the beginning. The process of the course or the training that I'm going to provide for them ultimately is prefaced up front with some additional money in order to provide them the time to learn all that really basic stuff. It's about 20 pages of stuff. And I'm consulting with them because they're not taking just a generic course. They're taking a roadmap that just teaches the specific information that they need to know about the currency market. What is the market? What are you trying to do? What's a pip? How you size your bank? All that beginner level stuff that you guys are trying to learn when you're 20 years old and you're not paying attention to find out what's the critical stuff that you need to know. The older person is going to say, I don't have time or the bandwidth to try to learn an index book full of terms. 6 or 8 pages in these books and manuals of terms. I've got 5 or 6 basic terms, and each one of those has 5 or 6 sub-terms that relate to it. In other words, if I'm talking about one major term, all the 6 sub-terms are related to that, so it makes sense to learn all that. So you got 25 or 30 terms to learn. If you're going to learn a computer programming language, you don't try to learn the whole API right away. You learn the 30 what they call reserved words. What are the 30 reserved words in this language? Is it when, if, for. Just simple shit. So if you're at that 50 or 55 or 60-year-old level, I didn't start currencies until I was in my 60s. I had 40 years of real estate background behind me. That's proved to be more of an impediment than an advantage. But that's a story for another video. But at the 50 or 55-year-old level, when I'm talking to these folks, I said, look, this is a lot simpler than you think, or you've been told, or you've seen, or you can conjure up the evil demons in your brain to think that it is. And regardless of how much I make those discussions, the conversation keeps coming back, well, I couldn't risk that amount of money. Why? Why couldn't you risk, I mean, it's if you want to just prepare yourself, let's say you know your Social Security is going to be okay, and you've got some savings, but you're going to be retiring on maybe $25,000 a year between Social Security and maybe pulling some money out of your 401k. You know, if you've got a couple of $100,000 in your 401k, which most people don't, they have 60,000, but the average savings right now, the person who's coming into that 65-year-old retirement level, their 401k and savings, it's about $125,000. So, you know, you're taking 4% of that a year out. I don't know, what is that, $800? No, about $4,000, let's say, a year that they're going to take out, $400 a month. So you add that to a $1,500 Social Security average, and now you're coming pretty close to $2,000 a month. So around, that's what you need, and you've got about $25,000 of income. So if you have enough money in your bank to make another couple of $100 a month, which isn't very much money to risk at all, that's a good percentage of that $2,000 a month that you're living on. That $200 a month, I call that you're paying your electric bill. That's one more bill that you don't need to worry about. $200 a month will maybe take off a quarter of your rent obligation, or maybe if you own your own home, it would pay for maybe half your monthly real estate tax bill, or maybe it'll pay for the house insurance, or maybe it'll pay car payment or something. I mean, that's big money if you're going to retire. And so what money are you risking? I want to start you out, whether you're 20 years old or 55 years old, with a $1,000 account, giving you the opportunity to make all the mistakes that you're going to make and lose as little money as you can. At $10 a pip, at $1 a pip, you'd have to lose 600 times to run out of margin, run down to margin. This is lose $600. Well, if you can't afford the cost of the course plus the $600 to learn how you could take your income and make $200 a month or $400 a month or $500 a month in perpetuity after that, or $10,000 a month, then you really are living in fear. Once I can explain that learning how to trade the currency market is not like what they're seeing in the videos, it's not like what they conjure up in their minds, it's very simple because of the way that I teach it. I'm an expert educator because I spent 55 years of my life teaching self-defense and karate. I know how to organize information. I know how to present it. And it's a lot more important that my presentation is good in self-defense than it is in currencies. All you got to lose in currencies is your money. In self-defense, you could lose your life. And I've had people that the information that I've provided them has allowed them to, in a few instances, avoid losing their lives. A couple of knife attacks repelled. Okay, that's the potential of losing your life. Or just the confidence to not back down out of fear, but to back down out of confidence and walk away from situations, or when somebody grabs you, put their hands on you, to take care of that kind of situation. That's a lot more important than have a skill than worrying about losing your money. So I know how to teach, and I know how to take the information that's out there and distill that down into its base core elements, and to organize that material into a logical and progressive manner so that each piece of information and skill builds on the next piece of information or skill. And then you combine those two together to form the base to learn the next one. That's the educational process, and that's the educational process that I use. And that's why it's very simple for me to say that I can take in my just my generic type of course in just a few weeks, a month, take somebody from, well, let's take somebody who has that broad-based experience already. They've been into a live account and they've lost some money. They've traded for 6 months in a live account, let's say, maybe a $10,000 account. Even a $3,000 account. I mean, you lose $30 a day, that's a pizza. You're going to start thinking, man, I don't want to be trading 10 lot at $100 a pip and lose $3,000 a day. So I need to learn something, right? So the stuff that I teach that somebody's going to be using at the $1,000 level has nothing to do with the $1,000. It's just so that they don't lose any money more than what they can afford to lose, so that they can start to learn how to win and develop the confidence at that $1,000 level. And you're going to take those exact same skills trading that $1,000 account that you will when you go out and start trading for 10 lots at $100 a pip on a $100,000 account or a $70,000 account or whatever it is that you can bring to the table to bear. You're not going to make $200 a month on a $1,000 bank. You could listen to all these guys that are saying, we're going to teach you how to take $200, we're going to turn that into $1,000 or $2,000, and we're going to use that to go off on vacation every 4 months. Well, that's great. Take a $20,000 account and try to do that and turn the $20,000 into $200. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work because the risk profile is different. And if you don't understand risk management, then you're going to think I'm talking shit and crazy, and you're going to listen to the guy that's teaching you how to take $500 to a couple of $1,000. I've got a degree in physics, almost a minor in math. I think I know a little bit about probability statistics, what works and what doesn't work. I've been studying financial markets since the 1970s and the currency market since 2007, and did real estate for 40 years, real estate investment, not just buying my home. So the concerns that I'm trying to help those of you who are contacting me that are in that 50 and up age group, contact me, okay? More of you, feel free to contact me. And I'll try to explain this. I'm not going to try to talk you into taking my course. I don't want a lot of people in my courses because I take my time. I invest my time. I'm working with someone right now, getting them ready to move into some coursework. And I've been emailing this person for 2 months, month and a half, answering their questions and working with them, responding to their thoughts on videos that they're watching, providing them information for the account. They're trading a live account with about a $10,000 thing, and they're not doing very well at all. And it's hurting because they don't have that high of a paying job and they don't want to lose that money. So I've been trying to get them on track, and they realize that they're just not going to be able to get on track with the sporadic information. There's so much information that they've already taken in from all these other educators and all these videos and stuff that they, regardless of me saying, look, this is real simple, forget everything else, but think about this, just do this. They just are having a hard time doing that because the education is screwed them up. So we're gonna. He says, well, I need to do a course. Okay, so let's talk about the course. These are the courses that I offer and the direction that you can take. This is my suggestion for you. You know, you can take it or not. I understand it's a lot of money, but you're telling me that you want to make $30,000 a year from your trading to at least replace 50% of what you're currently making in your job. So, okay, we've got to really move that fast for you, and we've got to really explain things really well for you so that you're able to start realizing those results. Now, you might not want to start trading a $30,000 or $40,000 account in order to get to that $30,000. Again, you're not going to make $30,000 a year on a $10,000 account. You're not going to make $30,000 a year on a $30,000 account. Get fucking serious, okay? Don't call me if you have these wild visions that are being given to you by guys driving around in their fancy cars, and they're trading and they're showing how they're taking a $1,000 account to $15,000 in 3 months. They're doing it at 200 and 500 to 1 leverage. But they already have made their $1 million or 6 figures or whatever it is that they made. And so when they lose that money, it's not going to be a big thing to them. They'll just start the account again and film it until they finally take the 1,000 and run it to 15. Oh, I got a successful run. Of course they're going to have a successful run because they're not afraid of losing the $1,000 that they're putting up. But people that are starting out, you don't have that skill that you can do that. You don't want to be trading it at 200 or 500 to 1. And those of you that are 50 years of age, that's just madness for you to take that risk profile on at 50 years of age, because you will lose the whole thing. I guarantee you. You might do a couple of successful hops and think you got the winner, but I guarantee you at some point it'll all evaporate. And that's just a fact. That's not my friggin' opinion. You're just listening to the guys that made it through the minefield, and they think they know how to walk through a minefield, and they're telling you how to come through the minefield. But what about the other 42 people that didn't make it through the minefield? You don't see them telling you how to successfully get through the minefield because they didn't fucking make it. One guy makes it. He just lucked his way through. And now he's going to try to tell you how to do it? I don't think so. So be very careful of the information that you're consuming that's out there without finding a source that gives you the correct information. Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Have a great day and have a great trading day.